Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm so happy to have you. If you're my paid subscribers, welcome back to the channel. So for today's video, we're going to discuss the meaning of hope and what it is that is coming before us. I know a lot of you guys have been losing a lot of faith, whereas some of you guys are staying to hold on to faith and you're trying to very much protect that. I have seen some comments that have indicated, and it was wrong of me to allow you to say, oh, thank you for giving me hope. I do want to clarify that I'm not the person supposed to be giving you hope. All I'm doing here on this YouTube channel is to allow you to understand what is folding before us and to interpret the energy that I am myself am receiving. I think there was this false disparity that I did not come to clear or any sense of communication and be able to let you guys know that I'm not the one you guys should be looking for hope, but rather for a sense of clarity and understanding. I know some of you guys have been saying that, so I do want to make sure I clarify that I'm not your hope. I'm not here to give you hope. I'm just here to give you the clarity and understanding of the energy of today. The hope, if you were looking for hope, is from within you. Because I don't want you to look to me to get hope. Hope resides in you. That is something that no leader, nobody can give you except you. So for those of you guys who said, Chris, you're giving me hope. You yourself gave yourself hope. I didn't give you anything. You gave yourself hope. I just gave you a sense of clarity and understanding. That's all that I gave you. And I still very much hold very truth to that, to the idea that we're all in this together. I said this before. I do not plan to leave, even if Donald Trump is the president of the United States, even if I was wrong, because in essence, I will always be here for you, and I always made that as a promise, and I intend to keep that promise. So, without further ado, we are going to begin this reading, but I do want to make sure that is clear. And I don't want you to feel despair or that I am, reading lost hope for myself. Right? There are some times I will admit, because I am human, and I oftentimes separate myself from psychic Chris to just regular Chris. And I oftentimes, more than not, forget that I am a psychic, and I look for others to be able to give me the insight and clarity that I need. I'm just like you. There's no difference between me and you. The only difference is I do my readings and I upload them. That's the only difference. I'm not better than you, and I don't want you to think that is. I'm not a god. I'm nothing except human. That's all that I am. And I hope that you will be able to see me in that manner, in that light. I think it's very important. And I think, going back to my 2025 psychic predictions and going into the next 20 years, I talked about my book of All Knowing, All Seeing, Thy Truth, Thy Understanding. Right? This is my book, my channeling book. And in this book, which I channeled on December 31st, 2024, which you can see here, right? And I channeled that, where is it? World leaders will be in submission to all that can and will be. So, for example, if Harris is meant to be the President of the United States, she will be the President of the United States, regardless of how we get there. So, the thing is that the story is still very much unfolding. Like I said, there sometimes in life, especially in tarot cards, it has always indicated that, yeah, you do have free choice of will, but there is an illusion of free choice of will. And because of that illusion of free choice of will, it gives you that false sense of security. Hey, listen, I can change my life. But not everybody's life is free choice of will. You may think you do have it. Doesn't mean you actually have it, because we have a thing called soul contract, and in those soul contracts, we already agreed to a certain ending or outcome. What happens in between the beginning when you're born and at the ending does not matter, because sometimes for those of us who agree to a soul contract, we, in essence, no matter what happens in between, which is a free choice of will, you can create your story from start to finish. But at the finishing end, it's already predetermined. You'll always end up in the same place at the same time that you agreed upon. There are some people who have free choice of will entirely, and they can create their life as they always dreamed. Others do not. And world leaders at this point in time are going to be submissive and they're going to be submissive to what can and will be, regardless of whether or not they want it. So I think that, if just say, for example, because I have read this on this many times before since 2020, when the information comes out and about, Harris will have a sense of, I don't want to do that. No thanks. But the cards are always said that she will become president, regardless of her own emotional stature. Because think of it this way. So just say something is being ripped from you, right? And you go through all this emotional turmoil. And you get to the final ending of acceptance, right? From going from the denial all the way to acceptance. And then somebody tells you, oh, you're the winner. You're the president, not the other one. Imagine going through all those emotions and feelings and getting to the point of acceptance. And then you find out at the very last second, right after you accepted, that everything you've been through, all the trauma you just put yourself through, was all for nothing. But in essence, it was not for nothing because it creates who she is meant to be. A stronger person. It created a stronger person. And, in essence, if Harris is meant to be president, which we have been getting for quite a while, she will become president, regardless of how she chooses to create her story. Remember, she has a soul contract, and in her soul contract, she's supposed to be a leader, a world's leader. How she gets there is entirely up to her, not up to us, right? Like I said, the story is almost the final outcome, right? She agreed to that in her soul contract. How she chooses to get there is up to her. That is the free choice. To create that storyline for you, the one that best fits you and your choices. But in the outcome, you will always end up there. For example, a lot of people are like, oh, well, in the previous video, in the 2028 video that I did, they're like, oh, so you gave up. I didn't give up. I never did. But the point of the channel is to discuss different topics and different probability and plausibility. I said this many times before. Even back in November when everybody was saying, oh, information is going to break in December, I kept seeing information was not going to break until sometime after January. And we wouldn't really know anything until around March. And Donald Trump, if he was to become president, would be removed or gone sometime around May of 2025. But that is not definite because things can change. And like I said, she has the ability to write her story. It's not over. And I want you to understand that it's not over for her. She is not over. So for those of you guys who believe that, it's over, the story is not over. And that is why so many psychics have been wrong. Because it is not over. She is still writing her destiny. Her destiny is final at the ending. The outcome is always the same. We did this in another tarot card reading. I think it's called Is Spirit Lying to Us? The thing is, the outcome is always the same. It's how she chooses to get there. That is up to her. We can't do anything except allow her to unfold the way that she wants it to unfold. This is her story. We're just the side actors in her bigger story. This is the first woman president of the United States. We have to allow her to have the ability to create her story. Even if it takes a couple years, even if it takes a couple more weeks, we have to give her time and breathe. And I hope that gives you a sense of clarity of understanding on where she is in today. And that the world and everything that we know is unfolding the way it should be. And I asked my guys today to go through me and to channel messages to you. So I think part of that was indeed channeling. That's up to you, and you can make your determination on that. But I will be doing some more predictions and about 2025 and what to come. But also I will try and see if I can gauge any information regarding Harris and her possible presidency. Because I did say in that other video, the video before this one, that Harris has a high probability of becoming president before 2028. But we don't know when. But we'll see what happens. The story is still unfolding. So if you're losing faith or you're somebody who commented failure on other people's YouTube channel and stuff like that, just wait. That's all it is. And I think that, we're in we're in a point in time where this things have never happened before, which is why a lot of tarot card readers have been wrong, and I said this many times before. Something that's going on in the United States regarding the presidency and Harris in particular is occurring at a rate in which tarot card readers do not understand. The way tarot card readers work is that they read based off of previous experience and previous understanding of the world in which we live in. The tarot cards relating to Harris, though, in particular, are talking about information revolving around an experience in what we had not yet to experience yet, which means it makes it very hard to gauge and understand the complexities of the world around us and what is coming, because we're using and we're looking at all the constitutions and all these laws and the probability and the legality of it all, to only find out none of that probably matters, because in essence, when you start to look at more of the storyline and understanding of all things, you start to realize that, wait, the tarot card said it's not even in the Constitution, but it's something that has become the constitutional crisis. I talked about this being a constitutional crisis, which means that it's not in the Constitution. Nowhere in the Constitution does it state how to deal with somebody who took an election away from a rightful winner. Right? I mean, look for it. I dare you, look for it. And if you can't find it, that's because there is no one. Because at one point in time, when the founding fathers made that, they found it under the assumption that only white, rich landowners will be the ones voting, which means there's a small demographic, small population, which means it's very hard to rig an election with a very small sample group, right? For example, if you're wondering who those people will be voting for president if it was just up to them, think about Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, right? Queen Elizabeth. Those people own land on and within the United States. Well, actually not Queen Elizabeth because she's a woman. But the same moral of the story is that white, rich landowners will be running the country today, which we still very much have. They have used their money and their power to influence the populace. So that is my little channel message for you. Definitely not what I expected, but it is what it is. But again, this was channel messages. This is not something I just created out of the blue. This is channel messages, okay? I was meditating and I was writing out as I was healing and meditating. Okay, so with that out of the way, I do want you guys to know today's video is being recorded on Wednesday, the 8th at 12:06 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I hope I was not yelling to the mic. I hope I was not. But I hope I was able to give you a sense of understanding about where we are and the complexities of the world and why tarot card readers are wrong. And they are not wrong. It's just, it takes time. And time of the essence, right? Allow time to unfold, because remember, everything's all happening at once, right? You were born, you were dead, and you never existed. Right? You could think of it this way, right? And when you think about how time works, right? Let's say, for example, let's use my book again. Okay. So think about this as a linear point. So this is the line, right? You were born here, you died here, but this is your story in between. But when everything is all happening at once, it looks like this, right? So you were born and you died. So do you exist? No. So how can you be punished if you never existed from this to this point? That's the thing. Spirit works in a funny way because they see time like this, just all happening at once. We see time like this, happening in a slower pace, to be able to help the human mind and the human consciousness understand the complexity of the world around them. That's all and why we have time. That's it. All right, so we're gonna ask this question, and like I said, I'm always here about truth and honor and making sure that you guys receive the information that you need to see. So, with that being said, we're gonna ask tarot cards today. Are they giving us a false sense of hope and security? Right? This video again is being recorded for entertainment purposes only and for educational purposes only as well. Please, if you can do me a favor, please engage with the content. The longer you watch this video, the more you'll see my content, but also other psychic tarot card readers as well. The more you like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, or comment on this video, you yourself will not only tell the algorithm you do like tarot card reading, but you will also see more of my video, my content, but you also help out my channel. But if you also have not been notified or want to be notified when I do post and upload, you can follow my Facebook group or my Blue Sky account in the description below. I also will include my email address in case some of you guys do have some of your your visions or psychic tarot card readers, or you have any questions or concerns that you'd like to address to me. I will put that temporarily in the description below, but I will remove it in some other future videos. But for right now, I feel like some of you guys need it, so I'm going to leave it in there for you. Alright, so let's do this thing now, shall we? I feel like the screen was black, and then I realized it was on low darkness. Alright, so Spirit Angels tell me, are you giving us a sense both of hope regarding what we're experiencing right now in the period of Donald Trump going into Inauguration Day and what's going on with Vice President Harris, who is supposedly, according to you, is supposed to be the next president of the United States? It's the same story. Nothing had changed. I feel like a sense of crying. And there is a very strong emotion here. Very intense. Like, yeah, the devil. The chains, right? The chain. I'm hearing the devil is like symbolizing the restriction of progress. Being held back, not able to go forward because he has the chain around those necks. If you guys have watched the previous video, I talked about the grape. The grape. Look what's here. Look what's at the woman here. The grape. And I'm hearing with the devil card here is indicating that the thing that's holding our progress are actually MAGA voters. People who voted for Trump. Because they're saying to slowly convert them back into normalcy. They don't have to be Democrats. They don't have to be independent. They don't have to do any of that. But what they're saying is to bring them back to what normal Republican was. And that is prior to 1980. They're not talking about bringing them back to the Republicans of 2000. Don't bring them back to the Republicans in 1980. Because they're saying that those Republicans formulated and created Donald Trump. They created the Donald Trump that we know in today. They created it. You need to go back further. You need to go back to the 50s with those Republicans. But not the Republicans that are racist. Because I just feel like that is the 50s and that was type of Republicans. Wait, no, wasn't that the Democrats? I have no idea, honestly. But my main point is common sense Republicans who are more about the actual values in which they represent. The Republicans now don't represent any of those values. And that's the world that we live in. So, we have here the first card is when I asked, are they giving us any false hope? We have the Page of Cups. And this guy is looking, this is J.D. Vance, he's looking at this fish in a cup. The improbability of getting a fish in a cup is almost slim to none, but this is referring to me as a cocktail. What's a cocktail? A cocktail is something you find at a party when people are celebrating, celebratory. Why are they celebrating? Because there's an 8 of Cups. Someone is leaving. Someone is leaving. And this is the same thing. This is the card that this is the card that resembled Donald Trump back in 2020. Trump could leave, but J.D. Vance could be president. I think J.D. Vance becomes president for a little bit. You know when I talked about that young male in the White House? Donald Trump leaves, so they need somebody to be the bear holder of the White House until if everything gets sorted out. Because when you look here, the next card is thievery. They leave because of thievery. But a lot of concerns that people have right now is revolving around this period in time is that J.D. Vance is president under a stolen presidency. So why should he be allowed to hold the office of the presidency? You know what I mean? That's the dimension or the understanding. But the thing is that the reason why he's allowed is because he had more blue than he has red. Because he was a spy. He was the spy. So the reason why he was allowed to be president temporarily, temporary president, was because his goal was to eventually, at one point in time, reveal the information of the Trump presidency. He is and will be the whistleblower. So, JD Vance will be that young guy likely in the White House. But again, I'm not predicting anything. It's just the energies of the moment. When Trump leaves, because of thievery, and because of a decision has to be made on who is going to be the next leader in the White House. And we have here the two of stories: unknown, unpredictability, mental instability. But remember, there's calmness in the water, which means that the ocean is pretty calm. People just seem to be content with it. Like, they're not upset that he's gone. They're not upset. They're not protesting. It looks like at this point in time, there's a period where Americans are like, you know what? Yeah, good luck. I hate him. I don't want him anymore. I would not be. And the thing is, we saw how they acted when Trump was president in 2020. And we saw how they acted in 2021. Yeah, and she doesn't show up here anymore for that. Because maybe there's some content there. Maybe there's some understanding. Because remember how we talked about, I think 2 years ago, whatnot, we kept seeing that there was a civil war, some sort of civil unrest around the summer of 2025 and the summer of 2026, depending on the story. There's a plausibility that this could blow out into full steam. This could be the same when the news break, people are kind of content, but maybe they aren't content. Maybe they're starting to strategize. Maybe they're starting to plan something bigger that takes a month in the month ahead. Right? This is a little snapshot in a period in time in the moment in which we're viewing it, which means that it may not show up automatically because it's a snapshot, right? So that is interesting nonetheless. But also be aware that I don't think the United States is going to enter a civil war until sometime in 2030s. The reason for that is because the United States is undergoing an identity crisis. Then it's going to go through a challenging period of challenging that same identity in which they adopted. And then the identity will sometime become finalized around 2044. So that would be a very long time. But I don't really necessarily see a lot of fighting. I see more so spiritual fighting, more moral fighting. So if you're worried about physical conflict, if it is, it'll be few and far between, kind of like what we have right now with like domestic attacks and everything, kind of like that. Not like big ones, like a full-out war. I don't see that. I just see like small minor things. So we have here the next card that comes over is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. These are options, right? These are many options, many choices. There's no choices for this to happen. Because I remember I said there's going to be a constitutional crisis. There's a constitutional crisis. They don't know what to do. It's not even in the Constitution. So this is all stuff that they have to make up. It means that in order for something to be done, if I am correct on this formality and understanding of what the energy that I'm reading before me, to understand the legalities of it all, if there was a constitutional crisis, something would have to temporarily take its place in the White House until whatever this is gets sorted out. And when it gets sorted out, it's going to have to go through the House by 2/3 Congress. It has to be voted by 2/3 of the Senate. Then it has to get ratified by 2/3 of the states. Which means that process is going to take a long time. And that's the thing, is that this is a constitutional crisis waiting to strike. And that is why you have here, this card is all upright. It's in the upright position, which means that the branches are normally in the ground, right? But they are being uprooted. The Constitution is being uprooted because there's a constitutional crisis that is imminent and is on our way to us, right? At the top of the card, we have the Ace of Cups. Right? The Ace of Cups is the understanding of truth, all that can and will be. We have here a new leader that will be forced upon them. A new leader, right? The branch is starting to grow. Right? That progress. This is the new leader card. It falls in between someone leaving and a thievery information, and this person's looking at this person, while this person's looking behind them at her with his incision, this person is already prepared and willing to take over. And we have here justice will be served for those who steal, and money will no longer be allowed in elections. I think that's also what this is referring to, that money is the root of all evil, and it's being shown here. We have here, under here, we have the Queen of Wands reversed, which is telling me here that this is not referring to the Harris. This is not a spiritual leaving. This is a physical leaving. So this does not mean death in any way. It means someone leaving in a certain period of time. Why is this significant? It's significant because it represents by the Five of Wands here. And the Five of Wands here means fighting. Fighting to keep control. And the final outcome card, the Four of Swords. A political ending. It's an ending of some sort. And we have here all will be revealed in due time. And when it does, there will be a sense of peace and balance with the fall of 45. And he will be hanged, the hangman. We have justice, the fall of the Republican Party. So in essence, what we've all been talking about already is that is Spirit giving us hope, false hope? That is up for you to determine. But I'm not the one here who's supposed to be giving you that hope. I'm here supposed to give you the sense of clarity and understanding and communication of the energies before us, and to read them and interpret them in a way in which you and I can understand. And like I said this before in the beginning of the video, I am human, just like you. I make mistakes, just like you. I am not better than you. I am you. The only thing that makes me different from you is that I do my videos and I post them for you to see. That's the only difference between us. There's no difference between me and you. We are both the same. And I want you to realize that, we all can make mistakes. But the interpretation of the cards are always correct. The cards are always right. It's the interpreter who is wrong, because the way tarot card readers interpret is based on pre-understanding of what happened before. But this election, like I said before, was an election that was weird. It involved things in which was very unpredictable, things in which would never happened in the United States before. Things that have never happened, which makes it very hard to predict. So, I just want you to make sure you give yourself a break. Give other tarot card readers a break, because let's be real here. We are all humans. We're all in this together. And I was telling one of my subscribers in another video that and even I posted it on a community page, that I saw a long time ago that this election was going to be a very determinative one. Now, who we voted for will be the one who goes into office. So, for example, if you voted for Vice President Harris, she will be your president. If you voted for Donald Trump, he will be your president. Right? The thing is that this election was a very weird one, because it is a timeline diverge. If you voted for Trump, you're going to enter the timeline where Trump is and will be your president, and you will witness the world in which he has created for you. Your own manifestation. Same thing applies for Harris. And you're all understanding, you're all asking, well, why is that the case? Why is Trump in president instead? Because the story of how a woman gets to the White House is a complex one. Because no one said it was going to be easy. If it was easy, that's when you become suspicious. This was going to be a fight, regardless of what it was going to be. This was not a fight for Hillary. This was a fight for Harris, because Harris ran because Hillary walked. Hillary walked so Harris could run. And the reason why this is very important and very essential, and I've been saying this for a very long time, Black women are the most powerful people on the planet. They are very strong, they are very determinative. They have a huge potential in this lifetime and in many lifetimes. But Harris had the ability to stand her ground because she came from basically nothing. Now you think about it, if you look at her energy, look at her point of view, yeah, she may have money and all those things, but who she is, who created her, she came from nothing. She built herself from the ground up. That's the thing, is that She's willing to fight. Not saying Hillary won't, but Hillary is older. She gets tired. Her stamina gets tired eventually. But Harris is younger. She's more determined. I mean, think about it. Think about it this way. Have you ever met an older black woman who hasn't aged? I mean, really, they don't age. They look great, even going into the 70s, 80s, 90s. The thing is that Harris had the stamina to fight, and there's no better person you will want fighting for you than somebody who is a black woman, because they will fight to the very bitter end. And trust me, that's someone who you're going to want, especially as a prosecutor. So, with that being said, let's go and take a look and ask the question, because we voted for Harris, assuming that's what she did, or if you voted for Trump, is that who we're going to see in the White House? Because our vote was the manifestation of who is going to be in the White House. See if maybe that still holds true today. That held true back then, is they're going to hold true now. Okay, Spirit Angel, tell me. We have here looking ahead. Looking ahead with two options. Depending on the options you go to, will be the world in which you will get. So if you voted for this person, this one, you will get that world. If you voted for this one, you will get that world. This world. Right? A lot of you guys voted for this one, which is the left side. You voted for the left. So it's telling me here Trump will ride to victory, but it will not all be because of divine timing. He will ride to victory because he's the representation of the patriarchy. But justice will come when the time is right for the woman, which is the Queen of Pentacles. Under here, the man will fall, which is why he's now reversed. We have here, there will be a struggle. No one said it wasn't going to be not a struggle. It's going to be a fight, because this is not a fight about woman versus man. This is not a fight between Harris versus Trump. This is a bigger picture. This is a fight between the patriarchy and the feminine. This was, no one said it was going to be easy. Do you really think that electing a woman was going to be the easiest thing you can do? Yes. In a way, a lot of us thought that because we saw Obama get in. But remember, Obama was part white. And that's important because he is in some way, in some capacity, is related to George Bush, the one who the predecessor before him. Harris is not related to any of them. So, of course, the fight is going to be different because the royal gene is not in her, the royal American gene. But there will be somebody who will have to believe because of the justice that has been befallen them. The justice that has befallen them. Right? And when that happens, the manifestation of the woman shall reign. Right? We talked about manifestation, and how you choose to vote will be the world in which you will seek. Right? The manifestation, right? The manifestation of Magician card falls underneath the Queen of Pentacles, which is the woman, and the world and how you vote. And the picking the two options here. This is the world that you voted for. This is the world that you're going to get. The White House, right? He rides to victory. This has always been the story. He was always going to ride to victory in the beginning. But he will befall. And when he does, the White House will call. And the White House who called is the one who the Knight of the Cup come in. The Knight of the Cup brings in a new leader, usher a new world, the Empress reverse. The Empress is the woman who has not yet taken her spot on the throne. That is why the Empress is reversed. But when the leader calls, the cup will be given to her. We talked about the cup, the Page of Cups. And for that, America has opportunities again. For that, the Three of Pentacles has been shown to us that the country was a led astray during the time in which he was elected. Because 45 did some shady things, and because 45, the devil, prevented the women, the patriarchy, prevented the women from going in. But not all will be for that, because he will be hanged. For that, when he's hanged, indecision will be no indecision anymore. That he cannot hold on to power. And for that, when he cannot hold on to power, a new leader will shall reign. We have the Page of Swords. A new leader shall reign, and he is sitting down protecting his position while he, or she, because she has long hair here, this woman, I guess, is going to take that sword and slice the head off the king. And when you do that, a motion of the Knight of Pentacles will come to a halt, and the pentacle will have to be taken and will be given, like given. Again, I tell you, I'm not making this up. This is all being recorded. This is raw recording here. We're given not to the Republicans, but instead, well, because they're no longer going to be a betrayal, which means the betrayal is reversed. We have here the line of succession because Harris is no longer going to be a line of succession at this point, which means this takes place after he gets inaugurated. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of swords reverse. So it will be given because the Republicans won't receive it anymore because of the lack of betrayal, which means the betrayal has been flipped. But the line of succession cannot take place because why can't the line of succession take place? Because they're telling me the line of succession cannot take place because there's corruption all the way down. I wonder if they're just saying that Congress and the Senate also may have some issues too. And that, the people in the line of succession are also in the Senate and the Congress, and therefore, if they weren't rightfully there, it also creates a constitutional crisis from the bottom down, from the top down. When Bacon said trickle-down economics, he surely created it right now. We have here Ace of Wands. Right now, they're not willing to give up the power, but when they do, the revelation will be of a victory. The revelation will be a victory, and in the end, the tower will reign. The tower will come. What's the bottom of the card? We have loss. And what is that card giving me? You ever seen a psychic on Fox News? And she's like, oh, what do you see for Trump? And she said loss. That's all I gotta say. So, that's the reading. I don't think I need to read any more on this specific question. I will be reading another video today because I do have some extra time. Got a lot of time. I'll make some more extra videos, pump them out today. And apparently, before you do go, I do want to let you know this because apparently there is this report. I'll look into this, but let's go and take a look. It said breaking news from North Carolina. This is regarding democracy docket. It said breaking news from North Carolina Supreme Court blocks certification. They will hear a ballot challenge case. So I don't know what that is. I'm gonna try and listen to it while this video is uploading. See if maybe I can read on it. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But anyway, guys, thank you for being amazing. Thank you for being supportive and understanding. Thank you for staying through this video. I hope that I was able to clarify and give you the understanding about what hope is, and hope resides in you, not in me giving it to you. Because I just want to say thank you, I really do. And I want you to know that I love you and I will be here with you no matter what, no matter the struggle. And I hope that you'll be okay. Because I really do. And I hope that I'm able to give you the clarity, understanding, and communication that we all desperately need. Because in the end, I am just human, just like you. And I want you to understand that we're all in this together. I love you. Okay, bye.